dive into some of the X's and O's, the minutia of the win yesterday. The first dive is brought to us by Mazda, who continues to move the game forward. For those who believe it's not just about playing the game, it's about redefining it, because these moments do more than win. They push what's possible, reminding us to go that extra yard, shift into that extra gear, and keep the game moving forward. When you follow what moves you, the unexpected is only the beginning. And just like there's more to every highlight, there's more to every Mazda. Mazda, move and be moved. All right, guys, on the post-game show yesterday, G, myself, and Earl were talking about how this is the kind of game that the Browns historically lose. Since at least I've been following the Browns, this has been the game that they have a lead, they blow it, we come in on Monday and say, how the hell did the Browns end up losing this game? This is the opposite, though.
Well, but they didn't have a lead, Mike.
No, I'm just saying, in general, a game like this has typically been what the Browns lose.
If the
Yesterday
Packers,
was the opposite.
The Browns would be the Packers.
Yeah.
Yes,
I see.
was the opposite.
Yeah.
We were sitting there saying the Browns were
Yeah,
about to
that's
go
the
0-3.
blueprint. The Packers yesterday used the Browns' blueprint on how to lose a game they should
Yeah,
win.
Exactly.
Right.
This was the opposite.
I got you.
How did the Browns win this game? The blocked field goal, getting down, the perfect operation to get the last kickoff, the Delpit bait, all of it, all these little things in the last 4 minutes came together in unison to allow Cleveland to pick up its first win of the season. Jason, when you look back on this particular win, I know not one person deserves necessarily more credit than the other, but what do you remember most about this upset in terms of how it all came together after 56 minutes of miserable offensive football, ending with that game-winning kick from Andre Schmidt?
I mean, the only answer is the defense. Just the way, and Joel said this, Bitonio said this after the game, that as bad as it was at times, you look up at the board and he's like, guys, it's 3-0. It's 10-0. Like, we're right there. We just need a play. We just need one play, and we'll get right back in it. So, boy, I'm with you. When 10-0 felt like 30-0.
Yeah.
But when you're on the sideline and you look up and you're only down 10, the defense kept them in that game. And you know, just a credit to all those guys. You mentioned Malik Collins. I was joking with you guys yesterday. He's out there raw dogging it. He didn't wear pads. He didn't wear gloves. Nothing. Just bare arms and bare hands manhandling people out there. And Schlesinger with the big sack. He's been terrific. Mason Graham's been terrific. Isaiah McGuire's been great. Alex Wright, I think, got it on it yesterday.
He did.
Sack.
He did.
Myles is Myles. I mean, he is what he is. He holds the glue to the whole thing. The secondary's been great. Cam was inactive yesterday. Cam Mitchell was inactive. And just if the defense, the concern with this team is if the offense doesn't give them more, they're just going to wear down. You can't possibly keep this up when you're getting nothing from the other side of the ball.
Yeah.
But this defense is every bit as good as advertised. You know, like I said, I told Tyvis in the press box, this defense is going to win them games. And you just have to get through Baltimore and Green Bay. Like, this is such a front-loaded, nasty start to the season on the schedule. But when it loosens up a little bit and you get to a Miami or some of these other teams, you get to some, like, there are wins out there that this defense will deliver. If the offense,
New England,
just give them 20 points.
Jets.
If you can come up with 20 points, you're going to win 17 points. You're going to win some games this year because of how terrific this defense is. When you look at, I know Baltimore 41 points. We said it at the time. I think that was very misleading. The offense handed them, 21 of those points?
Yeah.
But when you look at how this defense played against the Ravens, when you look at how this defense played yesterday against the Packers, it is legitimate. It is a top 3 defense, maybe top 2 defense. And the difference, you know, when we were talking a couple years ago, 2 years ago, we were talking about the numbers that they were putting up, and they were historic type numbers. If you look at the quarterbacks they were playing, and in hindsight now you can kind of remove the emotion and look back on it, it was Clayton Tune, and it was a bunch of backups. It was Burrow in the rain coming off an injury. This year they've gotten a healthy Burrow, Lamar Jackson, and Jordan Love. I mean, imagine starting with those 3 quarterbacks, and they've been able to get off to the start that they have. I think it's absolutely legit.
Man, I think it's like, it's almost like they playing like, listen, y'all disrespected us. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm still Myles Garrett. I'm still Denzel Ward. What you talking about, man? Like, if you mention the best people in their positions, they like, I'm at the top of the list at these joints, man. And it's tough because when you look at a defense like this and you look at a progressing running game with Judkins, you are now putting yourself in a position where we've seen a path to victories through timely special teams, running the football, and having a lights-out defense. I done seen teams that had no business going to the playoffs doing certain things like that when you got that. All they need, and this just shined on what came down from the heavens. Bro, all you need is average quarterback play.
I don't know if that's possible.
All you need is
Mike,
average. You can sneak up on, you can beat teams with just don't be bad. Or don't turn the football over. You see, they won a game and they couldn't even move the ball none. You know why? There was no pick sixes. There's no strip sacks. There's none of that. When you got
the interception actually helped the Browns.
Like
I was stunned that nobody talked about
play.
it.
They
Why
mentioned
did
that
they,
on the broadcast.
I don't remember hearing
They didn't talk about it for a while, but they mentioned it
Okay,
briefly.
yeah, because I didn't hear it right afterwards. I'm like, wow, they're celebrating like this is some great accomplishment.
It was stupid.
That's a good punt.
Yeah, Mike, what was the exact question you asked again? Because I think we've gone away from it.
No, it's fine. We're going to make this the defense clip. We'll come back to the other one in a sec. So let's just keep focusing on the defense.
How good is the
how
defense?
great
That kind
the
of
defense is good enough to keep a team like this team right here. If they had just simply average quarterback play, Tyvus is not crazy when you say 8. Like it playing like that's devastating. Like you got to say, put some more names in there. Burrow, check. Chase, check. Higgins, Derrick Henry, Josh Jacobs, Lamar Jackson. Just keep going. Jordan Love. These is names of names. Go look at the top 100 in the NFL, and these names are littered all across the 100.
Yeah.
And they're like, no, we don't feel like we're going to give you any points. And matter of fact, we takeaways ain't even our thing, boo.
Yeah.
And they got that to win the game.
Unfortunately, Tyvus is still crazy with 8 because the offense is so inept. They're not going to be able to win that many games. It's a shame because this is about as big a gap as you could possibly have between a defense and an offense.
Could be a 1 and a 32.
The Browns could be the best defense in football, and they could be the worst offense in football by the end of the season. The offense is inept is not strong enough to talk about this offense. The defense is phenomenal. Again, it's only 3 weeks, but so far it's looked way better than I thought. A couple of the biggest difference, like Schlesinger looks like a superstar already. How was this guy a walk-on at college?
It's unbelievable.
How did this happen?
I never heard of his name. I never heard of his name before the draft.
I think that stigma carried over into the draft, too. I think a lot of the general managers
like,
and
who is
scouts
this?
are saying, well, he doesn't come from pedigree and stock.
Yeah, I don't know.
And because he had only done it 1 year at UCLA, I think there was still like
He didn't even start.
but
he didn't start that year.
He was still a high
at the beginning of the year.
At the beginning,
but he was still a high second-round pick in the end. So obviously,
yeah, but if teams could go back and do this all over again, I think someone would have taken him before Cleveland got him.
The guy looks like an absolute stud. He's all over the place.
Yeah.
He looks like the next linebacker. Like, there's not that many linebackers in the NFL these days that are very impactful, especially unless they're like really pass rushers, which, you know, he's a true linebacker.
And they blitz him. And
Yeah. He's all over the place.
They let him just do what he wants. I said,
Everybody's playing well on the defense. That's something we like. I agree with Jason. Like, I thought 2 years ago the defense was a little fraudulent. Not that it was bad. It wasn't bad, but it wasn't like we were talking all-time great. And
I mean, the numbers were what the numbers were.
Yeah, but
it was who they were doing against.
Yes.
Bull. And I think Jay's
But,
right.
like-
Now that we're separated from the emotion of it, and
Yeah.
you go back and look against who they stopped, it's not nearly as impressive in
Right,
retrospect.
like next week you're playing another good offense in Detroit. But we'll see what they do tonight. But they put up 50 last week.
Detroit's got a great
like,
offense.
and I'm expecting the Browns to hold them to like 17, 20, maybe. You know, like I don't know, but you can't win games like this consistently.
No,
the offense has to give you something. They, love Judkins, but outside of tight end and running back, they have nothing on offense. Or I should say, outside of tight end and Judkins, they have almost nothing on offense.
That's all they have.
But, the defense, again, I give everybody. I mean, who played badly on the defense? Nobody.
Devin Bush is crazy now.
He's making plays. Denzel's tackling people at the line.
Some other names, too, real quick, Bull.
What's that?
You mentioned Malik, just other names on the defense that we mentioned yet. Malik Collins was awesome. Aiden Huntington.
Oh, hold
Yeah,
on.
he's been
absolutely
awesome.
got to mention him.
We
We got a fullback, boys.
No. Listen.
And on defense.
He is,
Yeah.
bro.
He's a player.
He is the dude that nobody wants to play in practice. It's Thursday, and he's out there sweating. His gloves is wet. I'm like, why are you sweating this hard? This is walkthrough. He's the dude that is a monster. He's running around. He's quick twitchy. He's running around on kickoff. Listen, this is a steal. They put him in on a goal line. He played fullback too. He running around. Listen, this is a steal, bro. I don't know where the heck he came from. This guy can play.
Yeah, I mean, and Malik Collins and Mason Graham are both like game-changing type of players.
And I never thought I would say that.
You know, I mean, like Tyvis was right. Malik Collins is a game-changing player.
He is.
And Mason Graham looks really, really good, and he's just getting started. I mean, how good is he going to be later this year and next year and the year after
That's
that?
why I said, look, this is the crazy thing
he's
about
got to
it.
shave that terrible
Yeah,
face.
we're going to have to get that ready. He can fit into his uniform. This is why it matters, right? Like, you can have an opinion about somebody. You know what I always say? Look, I was like, Mason Graham, we're not taking a D tackle. Here's the great thing about football. When you get out on that field, you can prove somebody right or prove somebody wrong. And there's two guys right now, Schlesinger and Mason Graham, that's proving people wrong each and every week. They coming out here getting better and better. And let me just say it. If we gonna destroy AB, now he's not off the hook.
Not off the hook, but
He
he's
ain't off
feeling
the
good
hook.
right now.
It's looking like his best draft by a mile.
But Schlesinger is a hit. Juckins is a hit. He didn't even get suspended. It looked like a bigger hit.
Yeah.
Listen, Bond was open a few times. He could have got hit with a couple throws that were missed. He was open. But Mason Graham is doing his thing. Fannin looks like a ball player. Hutchinson, I don't know where he came from. By the way, we got to count Alex Wright and Isaiah McGuire, right? We got to count
Not
them.
in this year's.
Not this year,
No,
but
he gets
Andre
credit for
Schmidt. Andre Schmidt.
And now Jason's boy, Andre Schmidt.
I don't know that I want to be tied to that.
Well, listen, you did your
brakes
victory
on
lap.
that.
You did your victory lap early. You got to take it.
I mean,
but
it
it's
clearly looks like, I mean, especially the defensive line. They are loaded up front.
I think it's a
way
case
better
where,
than I thought it
I
was
think
gonna
it's a case where Myles is setting the table and the dogs are eating.
Well, that's the thing.
He's taking up I've never heard this before.
So go ahead and say it. I know what you're gonna say.
I've heard offenses scheme away from Deion Sanders. Teams would just say, well, his side of the field is off limits. I've never heard a no 95 play call sheet.
Like this.
They're
Hey,
not
hold
doing
on.
that for anybody else.
Nobody else in the
Nobody
league
else.
demands a no 90. I guarantee you, the Browns know where Micah Parsons is, but Kevin Stefanski isn't holding a no 1 play call sheet.
In fact, they said that on the broadcast, something like, "Oh, I bet you Kevin Stefanski is one of those."
No.
I was like, "Nah, no, he doesn't. No, he doesn't.
like,
He's not Myles Garrett."
Coach,
No.
get the binoculars. 95 in? Nah, scrap that one.
And
Yep.
they blew that. They were right. They blew. Remember that time when he was off the field?
Off the field.
They had to call a timeout.
Yes.
That was a
They
huge
should have
mistake.
had 2 plays with him resting up.
Absolutely. To me, I have one coach in charge of just seeing when Myles Garrett's off the
Especially
field.
if you've got a no 95 call
Yes.
sheet. The most important thing
You
about
can't
that
waste
is
those
making sure you
moments.
know when 95 is not on the field.
You can't waste those
Another
moments.
weird thing to me, guys.
Yeah.
I do think that, and we give Myles his flowers for sure.
Yeah.
I just think that what we saw yesterday was simply a case of the Packers saying, they may beat us on defense, but 95 is not going to beat us. We're going to make 94 show up, and we're going to make all these other guys show up. And they did. They had, I don't know that I've ever seen a game plan, and Myles Garrett leads the league in doubles. He was triple teamed for a large part of yesterday's game. I don't know that there was a play where he just had one guy on him. And as a result, so much attention was focused on 95. Everybody else got to eat. All the other guys were getting home and making plays. And one last thing, as long as we're passing out flowers, and I agree with you.
On Myles Garrett, Steve, take tagboard full here real quick. Mina Kimes tweeted out this picture. If you didn't see it, it's a conga line. Trying to block Myles Garrett.
He's not going to beat us.
I mean, look at that.
95 is not going to beat us. And you know what that
So,
gives everybody else, for the most part? Single cover.
So look at that. You got 4 guys on the other side from Green Bay for 3 Browns. And the other way, it's 3 Packers for 1 Brown.
Who tweeted that out?
Mina Kimes.
And by
That
the way,
is a great picture because that's what we were seeing all day
By the
long.
way, that means one of their best tight ends has to stay in the block.
Yes.
Their running back, Josh Jacobs, who's a pass catching threat, has to stay in the block.
Yeah.
What a picture.
And
There's
That's-
8 Packers right there. There's
Right.
8. That leaves 3
And you
in
know
the
what
route.
you could do? And Schwartz, I'm sure will see this. You can send Schlesinger on a blitz from the linebacker. Look, you could drive a truck through that hole.
By the way, you don't.
But here's the thing: you got 8 guys, so there's only 3 guys out in the pattern, and the Browns have 7 guys out outside of
Yes.
this. Browns only have 4 guys in the line.
Which minimizes Love's ability to find an open receiver.
Maybe the best part of this whole picture, don't drop it. You have the conga line, obviously, to the right with your tight end, your running back, and your left tackle. 96 beat 77 off the bat.
He's through.
Yeah.
They got pressure and forced the throwaway on this play, despite the fact that it had nothing to do with Myles Garrett. 96 beat his man one-on-one.
And
It had everything to do with-
the right guard is about to block air too.
Mike, I know what you meant, but let's make it clear. It had everything to do with
Well,
Myles Garrett.
I'm just,
Yeah,
Yes.
and that's
the
it.
result did not.
Myles stealing
He was
so
able-
much
yes.
attention is setting the table, and the other dogs are finally eating. Why? Because he has dogs there with him now. He doesn't have pigs, and they're getting to the quarterback, and they're making plays. And like I said, last point, we're handing out flowers. AB was going to be on my list here, but I also want to give credit to Bubba Ventrone, who we have been killing, and probably
deservedly so.
rightfully so. His job was I mean, you're not going to fire a special teams coach in week 3, but eyebrows were raised. Yesterday, between the blocked field goal and the 55-yarder, now I know he doesn't get credit when the kicker puts it through, but he shouldn't also take the blame.
And there were no breakdowns on coverage.
Right, I thought yesterday's special teams helped win this game. Without special teams yesterday, those 2 plays, they don't win this game.
Yeah.
Period. So Bubba gets credit. I wanted to give Schwartz credit. I thought he schemed a marvelous game again. I thought Myles Garrett and AB, I wanted to bring him up too because I think, and I said this before the season started, this has the potential to be his best draft class yet. And I know that's not saying much, but already with not even a quarter of the season in the books, these guys all look like they're going to contribute for a lengthy period of time.
I think next year in the draft, first round, quarterback and left tackle. Second round, wide receiver. Third round, offensive line. Fourth round, offensive line.
Yes.
Fifth round, offensive line. Sixth round, offensive line. Seventh round, offensive line.
I know that, yes, I'm all for that. I know that teams don't look at it this way.
Yeah.
But somebody brought up a really interesting point to me this week about why the defense here is so good and why the offense. And I know you don't split the salary cap and say, well, you're going to spend half on the offense and half on the defense. But theoretically, that's, even though quarterback takes up the bulk of it, it should be pretty close. But what's happened with the Browns is they've got a 5-year dead hit of $230 million on the offensive side. So because of that, you're not going to pour offensive resources into this mess because you don't have the pillar to build around. So it looks like they've done it on the defensive side, even though, they made some interesting draft moves. We killed them because they didn't go offense right away. It might have been a philosophical overview of them saying, this team isn't ready to pour offensive pieces into it yet because the tent pole isn't there. The quarterback is dead money. So let's beef up the defense. Let's make the defense almost impenetrable and see what we have there, and then you can attack the offensive needs in future drafts.
Well, they still
up.
did. I mean, they drafted Judkins and
They
Fadden.
did, but Judkins, yes, early, but for the most part,
Fadden
in the
was
later
a third
rounds.
round pick.
Yeah,
But
he was, but the quarterbacks were 3rd and 5th.
Right, but what I'm saying is those 2 players might be their 2 best players on offense now.
I think
2
they
of
are.
their best,
I
certainly.
think they are. And here's the sad thing to me. I know we're going to get to see the rookie quarterbacks later this year, and we should. But are we really going to get a full picture? Like, if they both look miserable, is anybody really ready to say that we know what they are? Because without an offensive line and wide receivers, your quarterback is doomed. We're kind of seeing that with Patrick Mahomes in Kansas City.
You got all week to get into this.
Yeah.
I'm not until Friday. Here's the only thing I'll say about the offensive line. The tackles have been really bad. Oh. Really, really, really. Because you're playing with 2 backups at both spots.
Yeah.
They pulled the plug on the DeWand experiment yesterday, moved him back to the right side. Zach had kind of heard that throughout the week that's the way they were going to go.
And he can't stay healthy.
So, but here's the thing. Last year, everybody was killing the line at the start of the year. Remember that? Everybody was killing the line.
Yeah.
And I said, guys, Deshaun's not where he's supposed to be, and he's holding the ball too long. And as soon as Deshaun went out and Jameis went in, everybody stopped complaining about the offensive line because the quarterback suddenly was in the spot he was supposed to be and he was getting the ball out on time. I'm not saying all the problems will be solved, but you have a quarterback right now who can't move.
Yeah.
And I do think if and when they go to Dillon, I do think it's going to help a little bit because you at least have a quarterback who's more mobile and they can move the pocket and they can start rolling. Now, is that when you don't have very good tackles, I don't know how successful you're going to be. Yeah, we'll see. I'm just saying, I do think The quarterback play, much like last year, I think the quarterback play right now is making – I'm not saying there are no problems up front. There are. And they're only going to get worse into the future. Like, that's a problem for another day.
Huge problem.
Is where this line is headed.
Yeah.
But for right now, I do think different quarterback play might make the line look a little bit better.
My ultimate question or statement really was, my concern is it's going to be very difficult to get a true read on what we have with these kids if they're running for their lives from jump.
That's their job to get a read.
No,
Unless there's
no, I know it is,
yeah.
but what I'm saying is, and the reason I bring Patrick Mahomes up is because, and I don't think in Kansas City it's so much the line. I do think that Kansas City has one weak link on the line, but I also think they don't have wide receivers that are giving separation, and Travis Kelce is old now.
Yeah.
So all of a sudden, you watch Patrick Mahomes. He made a pass yesterday that, and Collinsworth even pointed it out. It's like, who am I watching right now? Who am I looking at? Everything changes when your quarterback is on the run from jump. And Mahomes is a guy that can run and can buy time. But suddenly the Chiefs, and not suddenly because this has happened over 3 years, the Chiefs' offense looks more and more pedestrian to me every time I watch them. And a big part of that is the offensive line isn't great, and the wide receivers get no separation, and that sounds like our line. So I want to give Gabriel and Shedeur a fair shake.
Yeah.
I just don't know what we're going to learn.
Yeah, that's fair. It might not, but ultimately
we got to see them.
That's their job, and let's face it, the reality is more likely than not that they're going to draft a quarterback next year, no matter what these guys do.
I agree.